Hi, this is Garvey Campbell, and you are watching Carnival Network. In this show, we're going to be having a chat with Wendi and Dyson Knight. Now, just to give you a little bit of background for anyone who's not familiar with these artists, Wendi is a music artist from the Bahamas. After spending several years as a lead singer from the Bahamas' top party band Visage, Wendy's become a staple in the Bahamian music scene as a talented solo artist in her own right. Since becoming a solo music artist, she's featured on TV shows, concerts, newspaper articles, and spotlights, and of course, the Bahamas Junkanoo Carnival. She's also a two-time Bahamian Icon Award nominee, and some of Wendy's notable songs include Walkout, Weakness, and her song One Song, which was awarded the title of Fusion Song of the Year in 2015 by the popular Bahamian radio station Island 102.9 FM. And we also have joining us Dyson Knight, who's also worked with the band Visage and was taught principles of music early in life by his father, who was once a member of the Royal Bahamas Police Force Marching Band, which is quite interesting. His music's appeared on albums with legendary Bahamian artists Ronnie Butler, KB, and Ira Storr, but many of you watching this in the UK may recognize him as a member of the Grammy Award-winning band The Bahamian, who gained international recognition for performing the song and music video for Who Let the Dogs Out, which also reached a mainstream audience in the UK in the year 2000 on Top of the Pops, which is basically a show that was the undisputed #1 pop show in the UK at the time. Some of Dyson's hit songs include Private Dancer and Drop Down and Come Up Slow, Happy Hour, Night and Day, I Come to Party, and Just Vibes. Dyson's won Elevation Awards, the Bahamian Icon Award, and he's been nominated for the Hollywood Music and Media Award and received several nominations for the Classic Award, and he's also been awarded Island FM's Artist of the Year. So I hope that wasn't too long, but I hope that gives you a pretty much a good overview of who we're speaking with. And I'd just like to turn this over to the couple in front of me. Is there anything I missed out? Anything that's been updated? Anything that people need to know before we continue?
I think you said a few things that I forgot.
Awesome. That was awesome. You were reminding us of some things. I will say that I've recently won some SOCA awards as well. I think
wow.
That out. Yes.
Okay.
The International SOCA Awards. I've been 2 years in a row for Performer of the Year and 2-time Music Video of the Year.
Oh, fantastic. Wow. Okay, so I'd just like to begin by saying I think this interview is definitely important. One of the first reasons, obviously, is it gives the UK audience who aren't familiar with yourselves a chance to see who you are, what you're about, and let them know what you guys are doing. But also, and Dyson and I spoke about this very briefly before we started rolling, that there is pretty much issues with regards to the disconnect between a lot of the islands. And a lot of the islands and places that are in the West, such as the UK, for instance. Growing up, I was telling Dyson that I was most familiar with islands such as Trinidad, Grenada, St. Vincent, but with regards to places like Guadeloupe, the Bahamas, Aruba, my family, obviously, they weren't that familiar with those islands, and I never heard about those islands. I never really got an idea of what you guys are about. So that's definitely one of the things that moving forward I'd like to see change. But I'm hoping that's some of the things that we can kind of talk about here as well, because I think that's
that kind of says a lot in itself, that you weren't familiar of it because your parents weren't really familiar with it. And it probably wasn't a lot of interaction between the two countries. I mean, other than I can say for sure that members of my band, in fact, the band leader of Visage, he's been going to Trinidad Carnival for many, 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 many years.
Right.
But the interaction would only be like a tourist type interaction, as far as not, nothing beyond that. And it became the challenge for us in music. Oh, pardon my manners. Good day to the whole of the UK.
And Happy New Year.
And Happy New Year. And all those pleasantries kind of on that work. Big up yourself. Appreciate being here. What was I saying now?
You're talking about the disconnect and how a lot of the times when we did the Bahamas interact with the other islands, it was very touristy, very festival oriented.
Right. And I was saying that the challenge that grew and cultivated itself for us as musicians doing Caribbean style music is the fact that we didn't have as much of a platform because the Bahamas wasn't really rated in that genre, in that area. But over the years and through my research, it's astonishing to see how much we do have in common, how much of our culture is just like the culture of Grenada, and just like the culture of Trinidad. And you realize that, you know, even though there's so many different islands, like those islands, on those islands exist persons that are cousins, distant family members that have been separated during, you know, the slave trade. And we all have, we're literally brothers and sisters. So it's the music that has really brought me to that understanding and that awakening. And it's something that I like to talk about because it's something that I want a lot of people to pay attention to. Unity, you know, especially at a time like this, you know, when everyone is being at least 6 feet away, is something that we we really need to invest some time into at least thinking about, because it's something that we are going to need in order to balance this new norm.
I think one of the other issues I have as well on the back of that is, you know, the diverse amount of music that that sits within the Caribbean. I can only speak for myself, but I would take a gamble that this is something that affects quite a few people. Although we know a lot about the music that comes out of our own islands, there is such a wide and diverse range of music, that different types of genres of music that comes out of the Caribbean that obviously we never get a chance to listen to and encounter. Before starting Carnevale Network and working with the guys, I didn't know about, you know, that the Goombay sound that you guys have got, the sounds that are coming out of the French Caribbean islands, the Dutch Caribbean islands, you know, music genres that are coming out of places like Antigua. You know, you just never hear them, and I think that's also something that can be worked on. I mean, I don't know. This is something I suppose I'd like to put to you. Do you think that? Do you think, or do you not think it's an issue with regards to Caribbean islands who are more likely to fuse their music perhaps with sounds that are coming outside of the Caribbean over sounds that actually sit within Caribbean islands that are pretty much just like a couple of miles away? And if so, because that's something I think may be an issue. If so, what do you think contributes to that?
I'll speak to that. I think it's already fused, and that's something that I've identified in my research. Okay, for instance, Grenada's Carnival, you know, they would have rush down the streets, you know, with conch shell horns.
Yes.
And beating drums. And the conch shell horn is a very, what's the word? It's one of the highlights of Junkanoo music. The goatskin drum is another thing that they use in Grenada, that is a go-to for their music. And the goatskin drum is the key instrument in the structure of Junkanoo music. We use slightly different variations of the rhythms, but okay, here's the thing. Wendi and I did the Carnival Experience, that's what they call it, in New Orleans. Yes. Yeah, in New Orleans. And we also did the New Orleans Music Jazz and Heritage Festival, their 50th, which was a big thing. And in our visits to New Orleans, which is a hub for the slave trade, you know, that was one of the places that we bought, right, and bought and sold. You get to, and it's very music based, you know, that whole marching band, that whole jazz era, everything about New Orleans is music, and the Black culture of music there. You can literally hear and feel and see different islands represented there, but those people have never been to any of those islands. Wow. So you get to understand that music came before what we are today and who we are today. Yes. You know, that's our heritage and that's our connection. But we just have become so divided now in present time that we are unaware. So it exists, we just don't know it. Yeah.
So there needs to be research and work done on rebuilding those connections and retracing the steps. Definitely.
Yeah, definitely. And you can do it in a more forward type way. I mean, you don't have to go back in history. We can look at what we're doing now, and through the collaborations between different artists from different islands and different producers from different islands, they would get to say, well, hey, this sounds a lot like this, and I can write this type of song on this type of beat, or I can make this type of beat for this type of song. And that is a reconnect in our present time that speaks to who we are at heart.
Right.
Yeah.
So if there was, what advice would you give for someone who wants to perhaps go down that journey of making those connections with someone from another island, perhaps in the music business, who they might want to work with? What would you say the considerations would be? Because I mean, in my head, I see massive opportunities for collaboration if those bridges can be built.
Right. It's kind of difficult because of the times. I guess this with the pandemic kind of makes it easier because everyone is a lot more understanding. And moving away from, well, it's still trying to find commercial ways to put their music out there. But they're a lot more understanding that there's not a lot of money circulating right now in the industry. So a lot of people are more willing to work with one another and have a little bit more flexibility. And I think that's what it's going to take. Like people that are interested in doing the music and making the music for the love of the music and for the progression of the music itself. I think the challenge is that you have to make money from it, and when you start to get, it's a lot of red tape that stops these things from happening. And beyond just exploiting the music, we need to remember that music is ever changing, and music is a language that really speaks to the message that people need to hear, right? And if we go back to just speaking that message that people want to hear and make the music a lot more authentic, I believe the Caribbean music would make that next step. And I'm talking about every genre except for reggae music, because I think Bob Marley put a lot of truth into the reggae music that took reggae music to the world. And I think that's what we need to do with our music. We need to move a little bit more away from the commercialization of what we do in regards to how we present it for carnivals and make it for more, and for festivals, and make it more for the world, and in the messages and communications for that people need to hear. I think that's what would be great for it to happen, but we still need, a little wine, a little jump up, a little joke, and a little job, because that's a part of us too. So just finding the balance in that. We're still maturing.
Yeah, man. And it's interesting you mentioned Jamaica. During some of the research that we've done, we found out that Jamaica, they have Junkanoo too, which we didn't know over here. And my dad's Jamaican. Like my mum's side of the family's from Trinidad, my dad's side of the family's from Jamaica, and I'd never heard any of the Jamaican side of my family talk about the fact that they had Junkanoo over there. And it was only when I raised it with my dad that he started telling me a little bit about it. So definitely there needs to be work done to build those bridges. One of the other things that you said I'd like to ask you about as well. So with all of this stuff happening with COVID-19, how has that affected the entertainment industry and sector in the Bahamas at the moment? At the moment, it's wiped out pretty much everything, but especially like for in the Caribbean, where a lot of artists make money from performances. What's been the effect of COVID-19 on the entertainment side of things over there in Bahamas?
Well, it's the same. It's the same here in the Bahamas. It's virtually wiped it out. And I always say this, and I'm glad that you acknowledge that Caribbean artists in general, we make our money from performances, we make our money from appearances. especially in the Bahamas, we've not really graduated to the point where you can really make a gainful employment type of living from just sales and streams and downloads. Because in the Bahamas, we simply don't have the numbers. We only have about 300, 400,000 people. So the goal is always to push the music outside of the Bahamas so that it can reach the world. But in today, in what we know in reality, the money comes from performances, and then that money is placed where it needs to go and reinvested to do better in music and to increase everything. So it has virtually stopped. The last public event that we have had in the Bahamas was actually our event, which is our brand DK Nation Presents, where we let all of the Bahamian soca artists who have new musical offerings showcase, and it's a lead up to our Bahamas Carnival. So between January and February, we had all of our Bahamas Carnival launches, and then we had our events, which was beautiful, successful, all sorts of fun, and then we had the shutdowns. And that was the last hurrah. Now, fortunately, I have been able, and Dyson as well, been able to do some virtual performances, but few and far between. But yeah, it has stopped now. But in December, things are looking up. We have, I know you guys in the UK are on a very strict lockdown. Yeah. But us in the Bahamas, we had our strict lockdowns from April all the way up until like September. We have been locked down and curfewed all those months. So we kind of opened up a little bit more and restrictions got relaxed in November, December. So we actually had a live stage performance in December, thankfully, with COVID protocols being acknowledged and adhered to. So, hopefully we keep on that trend because, boy, it really not only has it wiped out performances, but it really has done a number on the creative, if you know what I mean, our mindset, our mentality. And something I have always been saying for years, the creatives, the musicians, the dance, the art world, we are the soul of humanity.
Absolutely.
Without that,
agreed,
we're just like robots walking around. So it's been about a year where creativity has been very in limbo and up in the air. Some people had a burst of creativity, and a lot of us artisans and creatives have been in a slump. So we really need to figure out how to turn it around because like when you're a musician, you literally have the ability to speak a universal language. So we got to take care of our artisans and really get this COVID thing under control so we can go back to creating and feeling excited to create, and also not just creating, but sharing our created, whatever that thing is that we created with everyone.
I do think although it sounds bad, one of the benefits I think that has come from all of this though is the fact that the sense I'm getting is that people are starting to realize how much we value being together, and the people who are working in those creative industries like yourself, because I mean, over here we haven't Notting Hill Carnival was cancelled, and then we saw all these other carnivals getting cancelled. It was terrible. And it just really shows you that without the music, without the events, without the enjoyment, it makes everything else kind of like not worth it. You just It literally, our industry is something I call discretionary income, and that's been made painfully obvious to us in 2020 that if you have to choose between buying bread and buying music, you're gonna buy bread. Yeah. But that doesn't mean it's not important. Yes.
And I hope that once we turn around from this, people put more importance on it and start to put their money where their mouth is and really give the value. Don't just look at us, oh, that's just a singer, oh, that's just a concert. Oh, you remember when you didn't have it?
What I'd really like, what would be my dream, what I'd really like to see is getting to the point where we were before and around the 2000s, where Caribbean music was actually, people were starting to make some money directly from music sales. Obviously, when the internet came in, a video talking about this, when the internet started to come in, and the sending and receiving of information over the internet, music made it difficult for people to actually start to monetize, hard copies of their sound. That really that really harmed the music industry, but it really affected the Caribbean industry because if memory serves, we were just reaching a point 20 or so, 10, 20 years ago, where artists were starting to monetize or getting into the point where they were able to monetize and sell their music. I was buying CDs, DJs were buying music, and some of that money was obviously going to the right places. That would be something that I'd really like to at some point see
happen again.
Because that would then mean obviously situations like this, there would still be revenue going to artists like yourself.
Exactly.
You know? So I'm going to move on a little bit and be a little bit nosy, because I know that people are going to want to know and going to want to find out, how did the two of you guys meet? What's the story there?
There's two stories.
I just was gonna say, which story are we gonna tell?
There's actually three stories, but one isn't I guess appropriate.
I don't know what you're
TV.
gonna say.
It's not appropriate for TV. But
wait, you go.
Okay. Initially, the very first time I met her was actually at Carnevale. I believe it would have been a Trinidad Carnevale in 2010, or is it 11?
I think, no, it may have been 9.
It may have been 9. It may have been 9. I never got her name, never got her number.
Did you know I was Bahamian?
Didn't know if she was Bahamian. Didn't know where she was from. But I saw her in the mass, and I was struck. I was captivated, and I got a dance. She probably was on Stag or something. I don't know.
I don't remember that.
But yeah, I mean, it was obvious that she didn't remember it, because the next time I saw her after being on the road was when we were getting at the airport, when we were getting on the plane to head back to the Bahamas, and that's when I realized that, oh, this girl is Bahamian.
Yeah.
And I still wasn't sure. I think maybe, she was going to the Bahamas now to try to transition to someplace else. But I didn't speak to her. And that was that. That was the end. That was a Carnevale, a beautiful Carnevale love story that just involved two people dancing in the street. How much more beautiful can it get?
Really?
And then the next time we met is when she came to audition to perform in Visage.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where it started. And that would have been 2010 or 2011.
Right.
But I believe maybe 2011. And we're bandmates. We were bandmates, kept it friendly. But sometimes things happen.
I think what happened for me, and I don't know what I've heard us say this in a sense before, but what happened for me is that beyond the fact that she's beautiful, I fell in love with her talent. I got some serious, real respect for her talent, and that was something that attracted me to her.
Hard work. You can see the work ethic.
Yeah.
It comes out in, everything that I've seen so far from both of you, but yourself as well, Wendi, I can see and appreciate the level of work that needs to have been put in to produce the music, the videos.
Thank you.
I know it takes a lot of work. So
thank you.
What Dyson saying is absolutely
sorry about that. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so much. And then from there, just 1 second. Miss Madam is awake now.
You're in the band now.
And from there, friendship grew. And during that time, with Visage being the most popular band, we performed all the time. I'm talking about all the time. You're in rehearsals. And then we started to get together to do original music again in the band. Now, Visage is actually no stranger to Trinidad Carnevale. They've been on Silver Gold albums. They've traveled as a band to Carnevale in Trinidad to perform on the trucks, to perform on stages. So this is a seasoned band. So we got back into doing original music. And I'm a student of the game in a real way. I have a music business degree. I'm a professionally trained vocalist and songwriter. So we also spend a lot of time together songwriting and creating this new image for Visage. And in the same time, I was being groomed as an artist as well. When I first joined the band, some people used to think I was the dancer in the band. I was like, no, I just like to dance. I just like music. I love music. So I was also teaching the Bahamian audience who I was and coming into my artistry. And I think, friendship was very important with me and Dyson. And then also there's chemistry. Like you can see the chemistry on stage. It's palpable. And then it grew into love, and then all of a sudden we were engaged, then married. And I remember when we got engaged, we got engaged on Valentine's Day 2017. And then we had a performance gig with the band the next day. And when we went to the gig, all of the guys just like, whoa, yeah, because it was kind of like this unspoken thing that, bands, you're not supposed to get together in bands. Yeah, that's very taboo. It's very taboo because it often doesn't work out, right? Because you break up and then somebody got to leave the band and like, oh, shoot, I got to find a guitar player. And nobody wants to deal with that, right? So it's a beautiful, beautiful love story. And we work well together. So that's how it happened.
And you guys got married, I think it was February 2018, is that right?
18, yes, 2018.
Yeah, we did a little bit of nosing around on the internet. For those guys who are watching, they might want to check it out. I saw the video of your wedding.
Yeah, it's so beautiful.
It looked fantastic. It really
did. Was so beautiful. It was fun. It was no frills. It was amazing. It was. You made me cry.
No, it was cool. For anyone watching this, that can be found on Facebook. If you look around, you'll find that. But it's definitely worth checking out. Something I'd like to see more of. I want to.
You're just talking about our wedding video reel and how beautiful it was, and it looked like so much fun.
It was. Cool.
I don't remember.
he's gypsy.
Yeah.
So when he sees the reels and the videos, he's like, oh, okay, yeah. Oh. And I'm like, yeah, you had a good time.
One of the other things I actually wanted to mention and maybe speak about is actually off the back of another interview that I saw you do, Wendi, where you were speaking with DJ Gel regarding live bands. And you were talking about how one of the benefits of working with a live band, especially when you're starting out, is obviously they give you an opportunity to cut your teeth to really get some live experience with support.
The growth you get from performing in a live band is immeasurable. It becomes a school. It becomes a university for performance, for music, for creating music, for reading crowds, for seeing what people like. And even in its bare bones as a singer, that's where you build your stamina for performance. And when I'm talking about stamina, I'm talking about the ability to be on stage and sing live well. And in the Caribbean, these are high energy performances, high energy songs. So you build that stamina, you build that vocal strength, you build that core, you learn how long you can go. Like, okay, can I go 20 minutes before I need a break? Can I go 10 minutes before I need a break? And then you also build it. So you can start off at 7 minutes, and then all of a sudden you realize, oh my goodness, I just performed 30 minutes straight, bam, 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 and I'm not even tired. So I think the conversation you were talking about, his question was, if you were to choose between just doing solo work and being in a band, and I was like, being in a band, 100% being in the band. Yeah. And there's a camaraderie there. There's you have people on stage there. It's a family.
It caught my attention. I always talk about this, but I experienced my first time on the road during a carnival with a live band playing on the truck. That was in Antigua, and that was pretty late in the day for me as well, because although I'd been to carnivals in lots of different places, at that time it was the first time I'd ever experienced a live band on the road.
Yeah.
I'll always remember, they're probably watching this now, there are two sisters that I stayed with on my first few days, and I asked, like, what are you doing for carnival? And they said, well, we're playing with Dynamics, which has a live band, but you know, you're probably used to a DJ, and you know, so you can go and check out this band over here. So I decided to follow them, and I can't describe what it was like with the live band. I think that the live bands definitely need to be pushed more. Yeah. Don't get me wrong. I love the EDM and the DJs who are able to play tracks and all of that, but that live band energy has
live element.
Yeah, it's got something.
And that's the big difference between the Carnival Festival, and our Junkanoo. Our Junkanoo is live. Everything is live. We have horns. So what is the section? We have goatskin drums, bass drum, trumpets,
cowbells,
tuba.
There's a whole brass section.
Whole
drum section, whole percussion section, and these aren't bands. These are groups.
Yeah, they're groups.
So it's a lot more similar to
a marching band.
The marching band,
right?
But it's very Caribbean, very Afrocentric, very loud and moving.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that you cannot describe, and it can't really be captured properly audio wise, if you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, it's too big.
It's too big. You literally have to be there, and you feel it in your belly in a very different way than you feel the speakers on the big truck.
Yeah.
It's very different. So I understand your difference in experience when you played with those sisters playing with that live band. Yeah. And that's really Junkanoo. That's what Junkanoo is as well. It's different.
Yeah, I mean, that ties right into what I was talking about too, with the commercialization of music and how we can let it slip away from us, because having a live band on the road, you know, people kind of moved away from that because it was cheaper to have a DJ. Yeah. And you don't realize, I mean, yeah, you still have a good time, but you don't realize the magic that died when you made that transition. So again, it's good to, I mean, I'm happy that you experienced that, because now you would understand what it is that I'm talking about. But a lot of people would say, you know, a DJ is good enough. And I think a DJ is great.
It's great, but
a band is a totally different level of the experience.
It was the band, you'll know them. It was Red Hot Flames in Antigua, on the truck, and
I've heard of them.
They blew me away. They played in it's a place called the Lion's Den, and they play like for hours on end, night after night, and then somehow still have the energy to play on the road. And
but that builds. That doesn't just happen. That's the university, the school that I'm talking about, that you get and if you're a new vocalist, a new artist, that doesn't happen just because you hop on stage with them. That takes time. That takes about 2 or 3 years to get there. The chemistry, all that stuff. That's why I said it's the best feeding ground.
Also, though, if I can speak to your listeners about the spirit of I mean, that's involved in that. You yourself, as you're just there to party, but that band is also feeding off your energy. So your energy is feeding into that performance. So you are a part of what's being created in that moment. And that's the difference between a DJ. You know, that music has already been recorded. That music doesn't change. It may move you a certain way, but with a band, you are actually creating that moment. And that's why it connects with you so much deeper.
Yeah, agreed. They I saw them. They had participation with the crowd. They were calling people out. They were getting people to do things on the spot. It was amazing.
It's beautiful.
And again, if you haven't experienced it, you just won't know what you're missing, I suppose. So So moving on, you guys have got a brand new song. Both of you have got a brand new song out. Can you just give us a little bit of background? Tell us about the song. Tell us what you think makes the song really special. I mean, Dyson Knight obviously has given me a little bit of background, but can you guys just go over the new song, what makes it special, and also speak to some of the inspiration behind the different lyrics that you guys put together for your versions of the songs?
Well, in line with everything we've been talking about right now, this is a fusion between two cultures. It's a rhythm. There's actually 4 songs on the rhythm. We're very happy with the songs that we have. Wendi has last one, and I have a song that's called "Give Me the Road." Right. This is soca and Junkanoo mix, or Junkanoo and soca mix. Seeing as though I'm sitting in the Bahamas right now, I better say Junkanoo first.
That's right.
And it's my song. Well, more about the rhythm. The rhythm is produced by a Bahamian producer, a Bahamian production team. Our production team that we now not, is it official?
I think
yeah, we officially call it 4 Dub Court. Right. And it's Freddie Got Sticks and Leonardo Sniper Rogers, the main producers. Wendi and I are part of the team on various different levels, as songwriters, as arrangers,
creative developers.
Yes.
Yeah. And this is a team that I have worked with for 10 years. Dyson, about what, 5?
Yeah.
Right.
But this song, the rhythm, this isn't the first rhythm that we have. I think it's probably the 5th or the 6th.
Yeah.
But this is the first rhythm that we have international artists on, and that would be College Boy Jesse and Ray from Trinidad.
Right.
And their song is called Soca Make Us. And we also have one of the hottest female artists from the Bahamas Carnevale scene. She was in all of the competitions. We didn't compete ourselves, but for other reasons. But she was in the competitions and she did very well. And she has an amazing voice and a very energetic spirit. Her name is Ilsha, and her song is called Open the Gate. Now, her song is Junkanoo. My song is Junkanoo. Give Me the Road really speaks. It says, somebody say, yeah, let the people parade. Let Junkanoo play. And in 2020, we did not have Junkanoo. Yes. And I spoke to my band leader from Bahamian, Isaiah Taylor, about what that felt like. And he said that, he's been doing Junkanoo for more than 50 years. And this is the first time it has not happened. And we are talking about, there's been
that's a big deal.
There's been windy Junkanoos.
There's been all rain Junkanoos. Yes. That don't stop. You don't not have Junkanoo.
Yeah, but you still have Junkanoo. So this is the very first time.
I'm getting goosebumps thinking about that. It's really hard.
Yeah, this is the first time in a generation that we didn't get to see Junkanoo, Boxing Day or New Year's. So,
you realize how lit Junkanoo would be again when we actually have it?
Yeah, I think people are gonna go crazy when Junkanoo does get back to daylight. They're probably gonna have to move the venue because it's gonna be
pent up energy is gonna.
Oh yeah,
yeah, definitely.
And not just spectators, but the participants. Because remember now, I said this isn't bands. These are groups. These are groups of more than 300, 400, 500 people that are part of this group in different areas. They all paste their own costumes. They all make their own costumes. They all follow that theme.
That's the difference between, just for your UK listeners, with carnivals, you buy your costume. In the Bahamas, for Junkanoo, we make our costumes. And we make our costumes. We have rules, and it's very judged the sport. We make our costumes out of cardboard, crepe paper, styrofoam, no cloth. Cannot wear cloth on the road.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're very hands-on. Go ahead.
Yeah. So
I love that though. I just want to cut in and say I love that.
Go ahead.
It used to be that way in Trinidad. It used to be that way, and from what I mean, someone can correct me on this, but from what my grandmother told me, there came a point where there was a lot of influence in Trinidad from Brazil. With regards to their style of costume making, and as a result, the costumes became skimpier. They had that kind of model, the way they look now.
Yeah,
that influence actually comes from Brazil. But you can look around and find some very old videos of what it used to look like 70s, 60s, and you can see. The costumes just look so different, and they are all made from local things that are locally produced on the island. So
Yes.
I love that. I love that. But sorry, please continue.
Well, that's what it's all about. It's great to know where you come from, and that's what my song speaks to. It says that, you know, Junkanoo is bigger than just the parade, but you have to parade in order to parade in yourself, because the celebration is of self. The celebration is of your accomplishments. You know, most of the festivals are based around a great productive season. You have crop over, which is, you know, celebration of a fantastic crop, and that's what we still celebrate now. We work all year. Many songs say it. We work all year just to get to Carnival, and Carnival is our reset time. So it just speaks to just encouraging people to not lose hope, not lose faith, not lose sight of the reason for the season of your festival, and for the purpose of the culture, so that they're rejuvenated, because this pandemic has been a very rough time for me personally. Like I tell people, I've been quitting music every day. Every day I've quit, and then, you know, just get back on it, because fortunately for me, you know, you don't choose music chooses you. So it keeps pulling me back in at some point in some type of way. And Wendi has been encouraging me as well. So, you know, I want to encourage everyone out there, you know, continue to follow your passions. This is a time to reset, but take to the road, you know, claim it, and just, you know, you yourself, you're sitting in a brand new studio, you know, so you can celebrate that as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and now Wendi.
So my song is called Last One. So my song is more of the soca version of the fusion. So some of the lyrics of my song says, we're gonna live our life like we play in mass. Now, I've played mass many times. I'm not Trinidadian. You're Trini. I know that soca and playing mass is life to y'all.
Absolutely.
So the way this song is set up, and it's written by Daryl Jorday, who was a Trinidad writer, it's really telling you guys to don't take advantage of the mass.
Right.
And live your life every day as if mass going away. Because you don't know. Some of the lyrics says tomorrow's not promised today, and we can't let this get away. Right? So Last One is really an invitation. It's a celebration for people to really embrace life. And when you see that next party reach, don't miss it, and party and live like it's the last time, because you never know, tomorrow might be a lockdown, and then you'd be like, oh, all over again. And then we have to talk about Open the Gate from Elsha, who we spoke briefly about. Open the Gate is actually written by myself. I love Junkanoo. I've rushed in Junkanoo, and I really wanted to make a contribution to Junkanoo music. It's actually my first Junkanoo song that I've written, and I'm so proud of it, and I'm so happy that Ilsha is performing it so well. Her vocals really bring out the energy of the song. And we have a saying here in the Bahamas where we say open the gate, and it's literally the song is my experience. The first time I rushed for Junkanoo, and there's a gentleman, his name is Kumbi. We saw him last night. So we talked about percussion section, we talk about the brass section. We also have choreographed dancing, which is very different also from Carnival. And we have free dancing. So we have big choreographed dance troupes, and then we have free dancers. And Kumbi is a free dancer, and he would be pacing up and down. I talking now.
This is before it
starts.
Yeah.
It's like a warm up. Now it's like midnight. He pacing up and down. Everybody anxious. Everybody ready. The lights, everything sparkling. And all he's saying is, open the gate. Open this gate. Open the gate. Because there's literally a gate that they open for you to come through. And you hear a call, you hear a brass do a fanfare, and you know that's what it is. And so this song is literally saying, after this pandemic, open these flicking gates. I'm ready to rush on for jumping. That's what that song is about.
I've heard "Open the Gate" in Trinidad too.
You have?
Yeah, I've heard someone say that in they have it in their culture too, because security guards the entrance to the stage.
Yes.
Okay.
So they open the gate so that you can enter the stage.
Okay.
So they have that.
So I didn't even know that.
Like
So
I say,
I'm happy that that's going to translate as well.
Yeah.
It will. I think what you guys are communicating with both, your versions of the songs are deep set feelings that we have with regards to like the festivals and the things that bring us together, that you can't just say with words. It has to be transmitted with some form of art with it, because there's a deep emotional component to it.
Yeah.
That feeling of knowing that you may not, your next carnival may not be coming around for the next 6 to 12 months or however long. Words can't describe what it's like, because as you said, Dyson, that's kind of like what makes or balances out the fact that you're going to be working hard right the way through the year. And
exactly.
Without that balance of knowing you're going to have this period of time where you can really blow off steam and
release,
it kind of just really makes you look back at the year and just say, in some ways, what am I really working for?
Yes.
I haven't got this big thing to really look forward to.
Why am I working hard if I can't go rush?
Yeah.
What am I
doing? For real.
So one
That's
of the other
exactly it.
Yeah, one of the other things is you mentioned that this was so this was a collaboration with kind of like bringing together Bahamian influence in Trinidad. Can you talk about the how that relationship has affected the creation of the music and influenced the production of the song?
Well, our production, like I said, we are not brand new. Carnival, we know soca, we know music, and then our production team has also recently been immersing themselves in carnivals. Because for me, my goal, I've been calling it cross-pollination. I may have said this to you before, but it's really to take the music that we're doing in the Bahamas and expose it to the rest of the region, because we do have that challenge of being overlooked. And I'm not going to blame that on anything other than geography. If I want to promote my song in Trinidad, it takes a lot more for me to do because I'm so far away. So I there's a challenge there.
Which, respectfully, Trinidad is the hub for the start of
Trinidad and Jamaica for the Caribbean music.
For Caribbean music.
Right. So
soca definitely Trinidad. After Trinidad, Carnival, really the circuit kind of starts.
Absolutely. So it has been a goal of mine for a good couple of years to try to not just be on another team's record, but to bring my entire team to this audience. So if I am on a song that's spinning in Trinidad because I have a song with a Trinidad producer, I'm not doing it just for me. I'm doing it so that that if you like this song, this is actually from a Bahamian artist by a Bahamian, and there's more in the Bahamas. Why don't you come over here and look? Hey, come see. So that's really my goal. And I talked about it to my team and listening. And so this is one of the steps we've taken to really introduce ourselves to the wider market, to the wider region, because we're often over. Listen, I'm not just talking this because I'm guessing. I am a student of the game. I've been to many events. I've been to many parties, and I would be in these huge fests and just dying to hear one of my favorite artists shout out Bahamas, and it never used to happen. Like never. Where are my Trinis? Where are my Jamaica? Antigua? And I just waiting. I ready. Got my flag. Ready for them to say Bahamas. They wouldn't even say it.
They
wouldn't even say. There would be like one artist that would always say it, and that's Destra. And that's because Destra has a really good relationship with the Bahamas. And they would just say, they wouldn't give Bahamas, they would say, and to all the small island nations. I'd be like, well, my nation have a name. And if they do say it, it's just about 5 people or 10 people with their flags, because we're a very small country. So this is our way of really just trying to connect with the rest of the region.
Yeah, another challenge and a part of the disconnect is that Bahamian music is most popular from its Calypsonian days, like the Goombay.
Yes.
Our big artists would be the Ronnie Butlers, the KBs and the Gino D's, Funky D's, and they sing a more calypsonian style of junkanoo or rake and scrape music, right?
Yes, yeah.
And because that music is different, it's almost like it's a different offspring. It's like the difference between ska and reggae.
Right.
You know, they're both from Jamaica, but they're two different fields.
Mm-hmm.
So that music doesn't necessarily, a style of music doesn't necessarily translate in the soca environment.
Mm-hmm.
But there are artists like myself, like Wendi, okay, I'll just stick to myself and Wendi for now.
Mm-hmm.
That do a style of Bahamian Rick Carey, that do a style of Bahamian music that does translate to soca. But again, we don't have the same platform that the rest of the Caribbean has. I mean, we can do better in a U.S. market than we do in the region.
Morel.
Yeah, Patrice Morel, than we do in a regional market. Visage has done a really good job, and that's why we've been blessed to be a part of that band, because they actually been on Soca Gold albums and done a lot of production with top name soca producers, like people that used to like Darren Grant, who produced and wrote with one of the Bayesian Crossfire. You know, like it's so we've benefited from that experience. So I'm just speaking to the fact that we as artists, Wendi, myself, and the other artists like ourselves from the DK Nation crew, which is why I have DK Nation, to give these artists a platform to show the region that we do have music that translates. Not all of our music is along that Calypsonian style, which most of the Caribbean right now would feel as though, especially the younger people would feel as though, okay, that's dated. You know what I mean? That's old school. We do have more new school sounding music.
Right. In an ideal world, where would you like to see Bahamian music in maybe like the next 10, 20 years? Where would you like to see it get to in an ideal world?
I would love to see it be as recognized as reggae, or as what do Bajans call their?
They call it soca.
There's another name. No. Anyway, the way you can recognize the difference between a Bajan soca song and a Trini soca song, I would love our Bahamas soca and our fusion and our rake and scrape. Even we didn't even touch on that. I would love that to be something that people
rake and scrape is awesome.
Can identify. Rake and scrape is something different, and you did.
I didn't mention the word rake and scrape.
Yeah,
but that's in New Orleans too.
It's in Turks. I think they've got rake and scrape.
It is in Turks. It is in Turks. But Turks used to be Bahamas. Turks used to be Bahamas.
I didn't know that. Wow. Okay.
They sound just like us. They have our accent. It's slightly different. So when we go down to Turks, we can sound like them, and then they would say something. I'd be like, "Oh, you sound weird, eh?" But Turks used to be a part of the Bahamas. There's a lot of Bahamians in Turks. Because it's right down there, and even like Provo looks like New Providence. So you're right. So I want in 10 years for a rake and scrape song to play and people not be like, "What's that?" Like I want you to be like, "Oh, I know what that is." You know what I mean?
It's from yeah, absolutely.
And I know where it's from. Yes.
I just want to see people dancing to our music and loving it and having a great time with 10 music. I mean, people from all over the world.
Absolutely. No problem. So could you let the audience know where they can find the new song that you guys have got out? Where's the best place for them to find it and have a listen?
Absolutely. If you guys want to take a listen to all of the songs, you can actually just go search your favorite digital download portal, whether it be iTunes, Amazon, Spotify, and you can search Tamarind Riddim, Tamarind, Tamarind, or you can search the names of the songs. There's Last One, there's Give Me the Road, there's Open the Gate, and there's Soca Make Us. Soca Make Us actually features the Trinidad Ruby Soca Mara winner, College Boy Jesse, and a new artist called Ray. So you guys can just search that in those digital download portals. All of our songs are also on our YouTube. So you can go to my YouTube, which is youtube.com/Wendi242. You can hear last one. Same as Dyson. YouTube.com/Dyson Knight. Same with Dosha. And I believe same with Jesse and Ray.
Awesome. So we're going to close off soon, but before I go, would you be able to just give a little bit of a message, or what message would you like to send to your fans, and to maybe some of the people who are watching this, who where this is the first time that they're seeing you and finding out about yourselves? What message would you have for those people?
Well, for me, my message would be to please go and follow me on Instagram at Wendi242, or on my website, whatyouKnowAboutIt.com, because I would love to connect with you. My message is I want to connect with you guys. I want you to be a part of my journey. I am a musician, I'm a songwriter, I'm a mother, I'm a businesswoman, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter, and I'm really sharing all of that with you guys, so that when you do see me on stage and performing my music, you connect with me on a deeper level. You'd be like, you know what? I know today Wendi say she had a bad day, but look at her on stage doing her thing. I would love to be that person for you guys. I know that I occupy a really good space with people who look up to me. I don't take that for granted as well. So my message is just come talk. Let's say, come say hi.
And if there are any artists perhaps who might be watching this and may want to reach out to you, maybe they may want to collaborate. Maybe there might be some of these promoters that are out there who are thinking about maybe who they might be booking for some of their events to perform in the UK. What message would you have for those people, and how could those people perhaps start maybe a conversation to work with you when all of this COVID-19 stuff starts?
I would love to be able to make it down to the UK to perform, to share my live experience with you guys, which is very different than what you hear on the record. I am a live singer, I'm a live dancer, I love being on stage. And for the DJs, you guys can reach out to me, wendylewis@gmail.com, or you can get in touch with my manager, Kristen Henderson, that's BG Management. But if you go on my Instagram, which is Wendi242, you'll find all that information. You'll be able to reach her as well for bookings.
You have a contact card in your website, right?
Yes, I do. Yes, you can go to my website, whatyouKnowAboutIt.com. Very simple. All my songs, I'm always saying, what you know about it. So just say, it's Wendi. When you hear what you know about it, then just put .com, and you'll find find me. You can sign up for my mailing list to get all that good stuff. And I would love to come to your city. DJs, I would love you to spin my music. I do drops, I can do dubs, whatever that is.
Oh, you're speaking to the promoters?
Yes, he just wants to know what message.
We can also buy our own ticket. Let's get about 5 or more shows booked, and we'll make it there. How about that? Let's sweeten the pot. Yeah, just put the lockdowns you have there on pause though. Do that first, and then
also share your socials.
So I'll encourage everyone. I'll encourage all of my fans and people that want to be a fan and see me perform, because my performance is totally different from what you hear on the record. It's way more energy. It's way more exciting. In fact, my slogan on my, did I call it slogan?
Yeah.
As a motto.
It is your motto.
I always get those two mixed up. But it used to be excitement unwrapped. And I really live by that, and I've come to be known by that. So yeah, I'm DysonKnight.com, DysonKnight. Both those names should be familiar in the UK arena. .com, and you can hit me up. There's a contact card in there too. I do encourage DJs to reach out and to let's form a relationship. I want all of my fans to stay safe. Wear your mask, if not for protection, but for the protection of others, and just so that we can bring down the occurrences and the cases, so that we can reopen and get things back to at least a point where as we can interact a little bit more. I'm hopeful for the future. I'm going to try my best, to keep my my battle with this new norm and feeling displaced down to a minimum so that I can continue to produce music and give you all things that can keep you inspired and to keep you energized and to give you some workout music, you know. Yeah, just stay happy, which is very hard to say for a lot of people. But let's make the best of what we have. Let's take these lemons and make lemonade.
Cool. Last thing, if there was some advice that you could give to people who may want to consider coming down to the Bahamas from the UK, what would you say are the top 2 or 3 bits of advice you might give to someone who might want to come down for the first time? Maybe check out Junkanoo and see what the Bahamas is about.
My top advice, 2. So I'll give 2. I would say if you have to choose a time of year to come, I would say come in December so that you can catch the Junkanoo Festival. And normally in better time, there's lots of live performances, there's lots of festivals, and we also have something called Junkanoo practices, where the bands go on various parts and they practice what they're going to do. They're not in costume, but it's a big hangout as well. And the second thing is that if you can't come in December.
Well, a good point is that it's warmer here in December than it is in the UK. But go ahead.
Wait.
It says it's freezing outside now.
You come any time of the year and live your life, your best life.
I'm wearing shorts right now.
And I would also say that if you do come in a time other than December, make time to not just come to Providence, but make time to visit at least 2 other islands, because we have 700 islands and keys. I think 12 of our islands are inhabited, and Nassau is not the most beautiful island. Even though it has the 2 mega resorts, Atlantis and Bahamar, and also Sandals, it ain't the most pretty island. You want to go to Exuma, and you want to go to Apple or the Berry Islands. We have so much, like, you can choose. Just make it a point to leave time to visit 2 of our other islands.
And you guys have got digital currency. You guys have got digital currency now, don't you? We had a story which showed that you guys have got the $1. That's
Say it again.
You guys have got a new digital currency out there called the $1.
I've only heard about it.
That. You know more than us.
Yeah, I've only heard about it, but we're doing a lot of innovative things, and I mean, because tourism has been our #1 industry for all time. I always say this to Wendi: the Bahamas is just one big resort. And that's how it's been structured from its inception. So we are always going to try to do our best to ensure that everything anyone needs from anywhere else in the world, they can get it here in the Bahamas.
Cool. Okay, well, we'll leave it there. Look, it's been fantastic talking to you both. We definitely got to do it again. There are other questions that I have, but what I don't want to do is I don't want to use up all of the ideas that I have for conversations that we might have in future. So I'll leave it there and wish you guys both the best. I've listened to the song, so I really love it. And I'm really looking forward.
Thank you.
Thanks, God.
Definitely. I'm really looking forward to seeing what you guys have got coming as well for the rest of 2021. So I'll definitely be keeping an eye out for that. For the people watching, that was our first conversation with Wendi and Dyson Knight. We hope you enjoyed it. Make sure you guys head over to YouTube or wherever and check out their song on the Tamarind Riddim. It's on YouTube right now. And make sure you get online, follow Dyson Knight and Wendi on social media. Give them your support because they're really, really putting in the work. If you enjoyed this conversation and want to see more interviews like this, hit the like button, share this interview with your friends, and put your suggestions for future interviews in the comments section. This is Garvey Campbell with Wendi and Dyson Knight, and you have been watching Carnevale Network. We'll see you next time.